come yet. The boy walked between stalls overflowing with stones, each one different, each one bearing stories that went back longer than any king. He found a weathered stall with chipped paint and a sign that read, "Ask me no questions." An old man with hands like road maps sat polishing a stone. The boy showed him the gray stone in his hands. The old man took it, turning it slowly, his eyes narrowed with concentration. Then he looked at the boy, his gaze steady and clear. "How much?" The boy knew what to say. $2,000. The old man nodded, reaching for his pouch. "A fair price," he said, and the boy felt the weight of that, of all the prices before him. On the walk home, the sun dipped behind buildings, painting the sky in streaks of orange and pink. The boy slipped the pouch into his pocket, its weight a secret against his leg. When he told his father about the stone market, a smile touched the old man's eyes. "You got a good deal there, son, but," the boy began, his voice hushed. "Which one is the right price? How much is my life worth?" The father listened patiently. When his son finished, he reached out, tucking a stray strand of hair behind his ear. "Ah, my son," he said softly, "you've got it the wrong way round. It's not the thing that has the value, it's the eyes that measure it. The stone doesn't know if it's in a market or a garden or a museum or in my hand. It just is. Before you price your life, ask yourself, are you standing in the right marketplace? Because the same stone can be worthless or wondrous depending on who's looking. And you, my son, are a rare stone indeed." The boy thought about those words as he looked at the setting sun. Maybe it wasn't about how much he was worth, but where he was seen. Maybe his value wasn't fixed, but fluid, changing with the markets and the measurers. And maybe, just maybe, he was in the wrong marketplace after all. Once upon a time, a boy carried a smooth, unassuming stone in his pocket. It wasn't until he entered a cramped shop filled with tools and treasures that he realized he held something special. A grinding wheel murmured in the corner as if sharing a secret with the old man behind the counter. Steady hands and the patient look of one who has spent a lifetime listening to stones. At first he just glanced up, but then he truly looked, his breath catching in his throat. As if approaching an old friend, the dealer came forward. "My God," he whispered, eyes shining. "Where did you get this? I've searched years for this cut, this grain, this quiet fire inside. What do you want for it?" The boy, stunned by the dealer's reaction, could only stammer, I don't know." The dealer's eyes twinkled with excitement. "Let us say $20,000. The boy's heart thudded against his ribs like a trapped bird. He practically flew home, bursting through the door to exclaim, "Father!" The dealer offered $20,000 for my stone. The father let the news settle in the room like afternoon light. Before beckoning his son to sit, he set the stone between them, round as a small moon. "Listen," he said gently. The stone did not change from the market to the museum to the stone shop. What changed were the eyes that measured it and the scale they used. Some people saw only what something to line a path. They offered $2. Others saw novelty and object to display. They offered $200. But the one who knew stones saw its vein, its rarity, the years it slept inside the earth. He saw possibility. 20,000. D tapped the table once, a soft metronome for the lesson. Your life is this stone, little one. The world will offer you prices. Many will be small, some will be polite, a few will be true. You cannot force people to see your worth, but you can choose where you stand. If you spend your days in places that do not understand your grain, you will always be bargaining. If you place yourself among those who recognize your cut and your potential, you will be measured rightly. The boy looked at the stone and felt a new kind of quiet, not pride, clarity. He thought of the old woman's garden, the museum's glass case, and the dealer's trembling hands. He realized the offers were not really about the stone. They were mirrors held up to the knowledge of the one who looked. That evening he returned to the stone market, not to sell, but to learn. He asked questions, watched the old man polish raw pieces into sudden stars, listened to how heat and pressure, time and patience, turned darkness into shine. Days later, he visited the museum again to study cuts and names, the language of facets, and at the morning market, he walked past the fruit stalls and noticed not only colors and smells, but the people who valued what they knew and what they loved. The stone stayed on his dresser, unchanged. The boy did the changing. He chose new marketplaces, rooms of craft, shelves of books, mentors who read the grain in people as surely as in rock. He began to place his effort where it could be seen, his kindness where it could be felt, his work where it could be measured by those who understood. One night the father found him sketching by lamplight, lines for a small workshop he wanted to build, a place where others could bring in the ordinary they carried, and discover what lived inside it. The father rested a hand on his shoulder, and in the quiet between them was a promise, the sort that needs no words.